just the theme of the mural, though. Paradise Pier, with our new incarnation of Paradise Pier, is at the turn of the century, roughly, early 1900s to all the way up to the 1930s. It's a vague time. So the idea was, because this is an attraction on a pier, and we present it as an attraction, that the mural would be based on the storybook illustrators of the time. So specifically, one of my favorite illustrators is N.C. Wyeth, so I looked to him for inspiration there. And if any of you know his work, you might recognize some of the clouds there. They're kind of N.C. Wyeth-ish. So it was a lot of fun doing this, but it was even more gratifying again to walk into the room where our mural artists were enlarging it and seeing this thing spread out to a point where you couldn't even take a photograph of the whole thing because it was so huge. And when they put it in, they installed it in the attraction. I thought this was going to be a long process. These guys bring it in on a big roller, and they've got a special thing up there, and they pasted that thing up in a day. And it was just like
86-foot canvas.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
But it's all hand painted, which is again really important. For Disney, we're really adamant, especially in places like this where the guests are so close, that it is hand painted. There's an artist that was there that touched that, and you needed to see that.
So we've already touched on this subject. I asked the original directors, Ron and John, I asked where actually does The Little Mermaid take place? Because obviously it was written by Hans Christian Andersen, and he was from Denmark. And they said, well, because they had decided to go with this Calypso beat for Sebastian, they decided to move it to warmer climates, an unnamed Caribbean location. So here we are building, under the sea and all these Caribbean things in probably the coldest places on Earth for about a year. So we had a lot of adventures in the snow, including what Lisa talked about, getting snowed in. And that's that one in the middle there. See that blue? I didn't enhance that in any way. That was the scene from my hotel room, and that's the color that scene was. It was just, it was blue.
Pretty exciting trying to get back to the airport when you were born in California and never driven in snow before.
Yeah, trust me, we have it easy here. We really do. Down in the lower left corner, you can see us shoveling out. We did get to the vendor that day, but it snowed for, I think we got 24 inches in 8 hours, something like that. Our cars were literally buried, so we had to come out and shovel ourselves out afterwards. But it was great.
Is that what we do to build these shows? So much fun.
So all of that production work all now gets shipped down to Anaheim, and now it's time to do our installation. Sometimes odd-looking fish show up. Looks like something from The Simpsons.
That really freaked the construction guys out. They're like, oh, that didn't have any eyes, and now it's got too many. What's going on?
But, again, this is why we paint the eyes in the field, because this particular fish did not have his eyes painted in the field when he was in. He's in the finale. He wasn't looking at the royal couple, so we had to go back in afterwards and fix that. And you can see there's a lot of welding going on there.
Yeah, so, and if you notice to the far left, you see the model of the sea monster out there.
Far left.
And when we had to place Flotsam and Jetsam, that was probably one of the more complicated, like trying to get those guys nestled in there. And the welding that's going on there, which, believe me, that fire was put out immediately. I picked that picture because it's hard to take pictures when you're in construction and there's no light in the room. So the fire actually created a nice light so that you can actually see what's going on there. But he was welding in the final post for, I never get it right. Which one was that? Is that Flotsam or Jetsam?
I forget.
It's like Flotsam.
It's Flotsam. Down at the bottom there, that's Triton. You can see his little pinhead. Got a big crown on a little head and a fat torso, and yeah, we had to keep answering that.
And that was actually a template so that we could figure out exactly where he went and we could get the construction correct, waiting for him to show up later.
There's Eric again. It's great going up on the catwalk because you get these wonderful scenes of people working when they don't know you're doing it. So they're busily installing things there.
Talk for a minute about
Progress a little bit.
the grotto and the props.
Thingamabobs.
The
The
thingamabobs.
thingamabobs and the what's-its and the who's-its, yeah. We actually studied her grotto, and there are some significant props in there that do relate to the movie and to the song in particular, because she specifically, that painting there you can see in the frame, that's an important lyric point there where she goes up and says, "What's a fire and why does it burn?" That is the actual painting that she was looking at. Happens to be down at the LA County Museum of Art, which was very convenient. So we
How
were
did it get
able
from
to.
there? How did it get from
We
there
don't
to
have
see
any
it?
Oh,
idea.
no.
We don't have any idea.
Available for purchase in the gift shop are prints of.
How many more slides?
Oh, we're doing fine.
We're doing fine. We
We're
can
doing
vamp a
just
little bit, but talk about when our animators came through the attractions and we got to this scene.
We had the wonderful experience of touring 3 of the original animators from the film through when it was already pretty much installed, except for just a few figures. We had Mark Henn and Glenn Keane and Andres Deja come down. And we were a little overwhelmed with, we just weren't expecting to be so happy with what we had done. We were so used to bringing people through that it kind of took us aback. But they did stop in this scene, and they specifically pointed to those exact props and said, "Oh, you noticed, you know." And they noticed that we had tried to recreate as much as we can the significant props that Ariel encounters along the way, the clocks and the frame and the books, and even those rat lines, those ropes going up there are straight out of the movie.
They spent 4 years with this film, so they spent a lot of time creating. Yeah, they knew this stuff pretty well. So they were probably, I would consider, our harshest critics.
They wanted to know if we had 20 thingamabobs.
Yeah, they asked, "Are there 20 thingamabobs in there?"
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yes, sir. Yeah, yes, mister.
Next scene. So there's Little Scuttle. That's Michael Valentino again doing the fantastic lighting in there before Ariel comes into her grotto. More work along the way. There's the mural being installed, like I mentioned. That's about halfway installed. All of the custom work, the painting work in the queue area was all done by hand, by people up on scaffolding.
Notice she's holding the model piece for reference.
Yeah.
The mural came in like a big roll of paper towels, and on this big vertical post that they just roll the thing out, glue it, and then roll it. Oh, we did get you painting.
Yeah, how about that?
He wouldn't leave that thing alone. So there's this
I had
big piece,
far too
there's a
much
big
time
piece
on my
of plastic in front of the murals because we're in a construction zone, and you'd see Larry behind this piece of plastic making sure those eyes were just right.
There we go. There's something about that blue wig. You know, everybody wore that blue wig at one point or another.
Almost everybody.
I don't know where it is now. I hope it got thrown away.
You see that's Larry with the blue wig on?
Yeah. I was hoping that was a forgotten picture, but there it is.
There's Todd below that. Todd Mathias is.
He's wearing the red wig.
He did.
Are you sure? Isn't that his, sir?
Oh, maybe it is. He did the character. The figure finish is what they call it. So he deals with the colors and the details of all of the characters. But he looks pretty good there.
Yeah. We also visited some cows along the way. We made some new friends. Flounder even got a new paint job. He was into racing mode at one time. So one of our team members decided he needed a new look. We had the wonderful experience of having a half day available, so we went down to the Salem Witch Museum down in Salem and took a tour of that.
See, Sebastian's not happy with that dinner down there.
Down in the we all,
He was a relative, too.
last day of production in Vermont, we stopped in Boston and had a lobster dinner to celebrate our association with Sebastian. He doesn't look too pleased.
Not happy at all.
Mom!
And even Eric. Okay, this is Eric from scene 10, our finale there. Of course, that's under his uniform, but he is a member of an elite corps, you know, the Hellfish. He's got his own tattoo going there.
Our PR folks are so mad at us right now.
But we're hoping that since we put a picture of Frank in there, he'll forgive us for some of these shots. So that's the tour with our animators.
Yes, this encompasses about 3 years worth of people, and emphasize again, it literally took hundreds of people to make this attraction, from people building the facility, designing the facility, engineers, animators, everyone, and the wonderful experience that we had sharing it with the original creators of The Little Mermaid. So you can see Ron and John there. That was an early meeting where we were presenting the storyboard to them. You can see Lisa with the fire extinguisher in the background there before, you know, we can talk about scene 10. Bob Iger visiting at one point, and we took him through as well.
Tom Staggs.
Tom Staggs, John Lasseter is in there. That's like picture's like everybody, isn't it?
Yeah, I wore this. This is my lucky John Lasseter shirt. We were pitching, showing the model, and I always like to wear shirts that executives like, so that maybe they don't like the model, they'll at least like the way we're dressed. And he wanted to know where I got the shirt, so he really did like the model too.
Down in the lower right corner there, that is our visit with the animators there. So we had to immortalize ourselves with them.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
And I think this is our last one. No, it's not. Okay.
Better not be. We've got 4 minutes.
Anybody know how to soft shoot?
Well, I'll vamp a little bit.
Okay.
Those are publicity. This is the publicity shots you've probably seen. But Under the Sea and all of that foliage and all of the great vocabulary of the attraction, we do owe an homage to the Mermaid Lagoon show in Tokyo Disney Sea, because they did just a wonderful job, and it was a great way to really kind of tell that story, because they told it so well in such a huge room. People have been there. It's just a gigantic space. So this room was huge, and the trivia question is all that foliage, all that seaweed. There's about 650 pieces in this whole show, and that was a big help. They did a lot of great design work that we were able to incorporate into our story. Pesky lobster.
Yeah, but now they have their eyes.
I tell you, it was real, I wave every time.
Everybody wave.
It's an amazing project to work on, and if somebody came to you and said, hey, would you like to be a part of The Little Mermaid, Ariel's Undersea Adventure, would you like to open this, design it, build it, and open it to the guests? That's like winning the lottery, truly, for me. And we were very, very fortunate to be on this project.